Hello there, I'm the student, and in this video I'm going to restore the ancient Carolingian dynasty in Europa Universalis V. There is actually only one very tiny country in the entire world that can actually achieve that, and that is the country that I already selected. Let me just zoom in to show you where this spot is on the map, which is of course the free city of Aachen. Aachen is of course the old capital of the Carolingian Empire and the old capital of the HRE that still to this date of 1337 is the de jure capital of the HRE. And the reason why this is the only country you can actually restore the Carolingian dynasty with is that the Bürgermeister of that free city is of the Carolingian dynasty. You can see I've got myself a Bürgermeister Walter Caroling over here, which this is the Carolingian dynasty. If I go to the dynasty tree, then you're going to notice this dynasty starts off with Pippin the Short, and then Charles the Great, Charlemagne of course, and then all of his straight descendants, which is Louis, Charles II, Louis II, then Louis III, Carloman, and Charles III. And then Louis IV, Lothair II, and Louis V. And alongside these great names and figures, there is Bürgermeister Walter, 27 years old, of the free city of Aachen, of course. Let's just be clear here, okay? I couldn't find any historical evidence for this character. And in terms of the game, this is actually a semi-random character. If you go into the game and start as Aachen, you might see a completely different guy of the Carolingian dynasty ruling the free city of Aachen. But Walter over here, he says he is the descendant of the Carolingian dynasty. He even says he is the head of the Carolingian dynasty. And who am I to judge his noble word? And on top of that, he's also very skilled in all three categories. So yeah, I'm not going to judge his claim to be Carolingian. And instead, I'm going to play as Aachen to restore the Carolingian dynasty. So this is it, the historical start of the free city of Aachen, and you can see no historical context for this tiny free city over here. And now let me tell you real quick why this is way more complicated than you might think. So first of all, yes, that character of the Carolingian dynasty, of the official Carolingian dynasty, even if you have that character, there is a huge problem, and that is you are a republic. Luckily enough, we are not that bad of a republic that we have 4-year terms elections, which most other free cities actually have this one over here, this succession law of 4-year terms, which then I would have to change to oligarchy elective over here, which as you can see would cost me a lot. Luckily, we already start with this oligarchy elective government reform or succession law. And that means that our ruler rules for life. Now you might say, oh man, that's great. I can just let him marry someone and then they have childs and they are of the Carolingian dynasty and so on. And I can re-elect the sons of him as the next Bürgermeister. No. That is not how it works. If I go over the government tab again and hover over the succession, then you can see right now there are 3 possible elective characters right now that then when he dies, I would be able to choose one of these guys. And you can see there is a score system which is based on the abilities and on the score per, per age. So the older they are, the higher the score. And therefore, it's very, very, very unlikely to randomly get one of his sons be as good and as old to be able to get elected in the when this current Walter dies. Okay? So basically, what that means is, if Bürgermeister Walter dies, the Carolingian dynasty goes extinct. And that's why the first thing we need to do to actually get the Carolingian dynasty as a playable dynasty, we need to become a proper monarchy as the Free City of Aachen. You're going to notice we won't lose the Free City status even, but we need to change our government to a monarchy so that then I can guarantee that the Carolingian dynasty is actually going to inherit the title over and over again and won't go extinct. Now there is one problem, one specific problem, and other like smaller problems to become actually a monarchy. You can see for that, first of all, it costs 50 stability and 25 Republican tradition. And then we have to be at peace, not in a disaster, not bankrupt. We need to have the nobility estate. We need to have more than 0 stability. And we are not allowed to be in a union, which is not possible anyways, I think, as a republic. But then we also need to have more than 80 Republican tradition. That's fine, that's no problem. But then we also need to have the nobility estate more than 39.4 estate power. And that number actually comes from the burghers' power, because you can see 39.48, right? Because what that basically means is the nobility needs to be the most powerful estate in your country, okay? And then comes the real problem. We need to have less or equal to negative 95 aristocracy versus plutocracy society value. And what that means is, actually, if I go to the government tab values, we are right now, as a republic, 40 towards plutocracy. Okay? So we are over here. Where we need to be is, we need to be here at 95 progress towards aristocracy. And you can see we are growing 0.1 towards plutocracy right now. That is a major problem, okay? Because of two things. First of all, it takes a lot of time to change society values. But second of all, you can see because of that 0.1 per month growth towards plutocracy, the equilibrium is 10 basically, like 0. Probably we are doing, like, as you can see, 0.09, right? So 100 times the monthly progress is the equilibrium. That means even if I get to like 0.3, 0.4 towards aristocracy per month, that means I can't go further than 30 or 40 progress, actual progress towards aristocracy, and then it's going to stop, okay? And then of course, I can get events to get it further, but that will take even longer. And therefore, the safest thing to do is I need to get a progress towards aristocracy, a monthly progress of at least 0.95. Because then the equilibrium will be 95. And therefore, every month it will take roughly 1 per month. And then after 100 months, I will be at the needed aristocracy to become a monarchy. The problem is already, you can see, the burghers' estate power and 2 more burghers' privileges actually give progress towards plutocracy. So I need to get rid of these, right? I need to get rid of the estate power, and I need to get rid of all of the estate power, because the burghers literally have, let me just see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 privileges. And I want to revoke at least 2 of them, but actually I want to revoke even more of that. Because, for example, this one gives decentralization. I don't want that. This one, for example, reduces my own trade capacity. I don't want that either. And yeah, this one, for example, straight up only plutocracy. I definitely don't want that. And right now, it would cost me 150 stability per privilege to revoke. And yeah, therefore I need to get the burghers' power down to basically 0, whereas I get the patricians' power to like being the biggest power, and therefore probably also bigger than the Republic itself. But yeah, that won't be a problem, but I need to get rid of the burghers, basically. Now, to get rid of the burghers, what I need to do is I need to get rid of the base influence, because I can't get rid of the privileges right now, but the privileges are only giving percentual modifiers. Whereas the base is actually the relevant one, because if the base one is like 0 or near 0, like 1 or something, then it doesn't matter how much of these estate privileges they have, because the base is so low that even after all of these modifiers, it's still pretty low, you know? And the base number comes from the amount of burghers living in my city, which means I need to reduce the number of burghers to basically 0. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. And if you have a look on the population tab on this location over here, and then hover over the burghers, you're going to notice there is a thing which is called maximum burghers. This number tells you how many burghers will live in this province or in this location without demoting. Of course, there can be like 10,000 of burghers through some event or something, but then they would slowly, like 100 per month, demote down to this maximum and then stop there and then just live there, even without any employment. 3.6 thousand is the current maximum, and that many burghers will stay in that town or location, okay? You can see that is heavily modified. So first of all, the plus 200 base of a town location rank, I can't get rid of that. I don't want to as well. So that's already 200 base I can't get rid of. Then on top of that, there is plutocracy, which is the society value. It's going to go towards aristocracy, of course. So long term, this will be 0 over here. So no problem. And then you can see all the other ones are actually from the buildings, because every building increases the maximum burger number so that the burgers actually are able to work in your buildings, right? And the way you can reduce that is pretty simple. You just delete the buildings. Of course, you might now say there are so many buildings, this hurts you a lot, right? Yes, it hurts, but not as much as as you might actually think, because I'm going to keep the marketplace, which is actually one of the main sources of income for myself because of that one trade capacity. And then all of this other stuff over here, so you can see a lot of that is not even profitable right now. You can see this one is even having a negative profit here. And yeah, even you can see this one as well, negative. This one has a very small profit. This one is negative. This one has actually a huge potential profit, but this is going to go down as well with the market prices changing. And then, you know, a little bit profit over here, and this one is even unprofitable again. So it really doesn't hurt me as much as you might think. Okay, just like that, only the marketplace is left now in this entire town for the burgers as a building. And if I now go to the population tab and hover over the burgers, you can see the maximum amount of burgers is right now down to 1.8 thousand. And mostly because of that modifier from plutocracy that, as I said, is going to go away completely over time. And then the base will be 200 of the town and then 250 of the marketplace. So 450 burgers maximum living in that town. And therefore, instead of 3.4 thousand, it will be only 450. And yeah, the base of 6 influence or power over here is going to go down scale to that, of course, dramatically. Which will then help me to get the costs down to revoke these privileges and get further towards aristocracy. But right now what I have to do is I have to do government reforms, and first of all my own reforms, which is yeah, actually I can get one major reform. For example, Merchant Republic would be the best one, obviously, like as a republic, but I won't be playing as a republic for long, so I'm going to choose Noble Elite because it gives nobles power, efficiency of cabinet, which is also nice for the next thing that I want to do, and monthly progress towards aristocracy 0.1. So there we go. I'm going to leave the other one open because once I'm a monarchy, I will be able to get autocracy enacted for more crown power. So I'll be just waiting for that to not pay any stability. The other ones are actually not that important anyways. And then we come to the nobles, where of course I now want to give out every single privilege that gives increased monthly progress towards aristocracy, such as elite council over here. Then we have land rights as well. And we have the right to inherit down here. This of course also increases the nobles' power, which is like kind of a good thing because I want them to be the most powerful anyways. But I don't want to give out any more privileges because once I'm a monarchy, of course, I want to reduce the nobility's influence again. So yeah, this is just temporary right now. But that already means that without, you know, this one implemented fully, this is like not giving me the full bonus yet. But you can already see it's going 0.16 towards aristocracy now, instead of 0.1 towards plutocracy. And yeah, now comes the next part. And the next part is the actual cabinet, because I can of course choose to change society values with my cabinet. And I'm going to do that for aristocracy, which already, as you can see with the base, already gives me 0.15 because of my admin skill of Bürgermeister Walter, which now I can appoint a cabinet member. I actually don't have pretty good ones here. 40 diplomacy is not good at all, but still, whatever. I'm just going to do that. I'm even going to promote him as the head of the cabinet, to increase that even further, which I can right now see already over here. Yeah, you can see 0.2 right now because of that cabinet action. And in total, that means that right now it's already going 0.37 towards aristocracy per month, which is kind of fast, honestly, for society values, but still it takes time, and therefore yeah, I have to make it even faster, otherwise Bürgermeister Walter might die before that. So yeah, I have to get more on that, but for that I need to wait for the first parliament that I have. For now, that is all I need to do. The other cabinet action is going to go for strengthening government and later for stabilizing country. And yeah, I'm just right now going to try to not lose too much money and wait for the first parliament to happen. And yeah, slowly push my value towards 95 aristocracy so that I can then become a monarch, a proper monarchy as a free city, of course. And there is the first Stadtrat available, the parliament, of course, that yeah, I will now use to change some laws. And yeah, what I want to do is basically, yeah, I guess just any of those nobility agendas, because they give me a lot of base support already. That means that even without getting any more thing going, which by the way I want to do in a second, but without that I can already ask for the first law change. And I want to change the distribution of power law to favor the elites, which yeah, actually doesn't give any additional power for the nobility, but increases the monthly progress towards aristocracy by another 0.1. And yeah, that is of course a thing I want to do. And now I can also get the perfect agenda, man. Look at this. Yeah, I lose 5 Republican traditions, so that is a little annoying, but I get 5 progress towards aristocracy immediately, which is pretty helpful. And I can now, I have enough support again, so I can get another law change done. And I want to change the mining law, because there is a law called noble controlled mining operations that gives an additional 0.1 monthly progress towards aristocracy. Well, that was quick. Yeah, a daughter is born, and I think if your name is Walter, then you name your daughter Angela. That's a pretty decent name, I think. So yeah, at least, you know, the fertility rate is quite good, but a son would obviously be the better thing to have. Yeah, but I'm sure they keep going, right? Okay, that's it. As I told you, there are now only living the maximum of 450 burghers in my town. And that means that the burghers' influence dramatically dropped down to 7%. And yeah, that means that right now revoking these privileges only costs me 30 stability at a time, and of course it will go down even further when I revoke privileges. So after that probably like 28 and then even less and so on. And yeah, of course, first of all, I'm going to revoke the ones with the most progress towards plutocracy, which is this one at first. Negative 40, yeah, actually satisfaction equilibrium is at 100, currently at 74. So yeah, 34 is kind of not much, but yeah, I think it should be fine. It's going up to 100, so that should be alright. And now you can see the progress towards aristocracy is 0.91 per month. And when I revoke the next privilege, that where was it? This one over here would be another 0.05. Then it would actually go to the equilibrium of 96 aristocracy, which is just barely enough to actually become a monarchy. As you can see, it's the only thing that I'm missing right now. Okay, another daughter is born. I'm slowly getting a little nervous here, man. But yeah, I hope he keeps going, and I'm not actually choosing these, man. This is the random name suggestion right now. So Walter really wants to call his daughter Ursula. So yeah, then this is it, man. This is it. The second parliament is actually giving me the perfect issue to debate, which is this one over here, support noble cabinet, which increases one of the nobles' characters in the cabinet, but also changes the society values by plus 10 towards aristocracy if the debate finishes, of course. The Black Death started, and yeah, let's just see how it affects my population. You can see I'm at 35,000 right now. Yeah, I hope I'm not losing too many people here, because I need them to scale afterwards. Yeah, what can I say? I've lost half of my entire population. That sucks actually, but yeah, whatever, I can't do anything about it. I now have to work with 17,000 population, but now it is finally time to play as the Carolingian dynasty. Actually, Bürgermeister Walter over here is 41 years old right now. His consort is 30 by now, so hopefully we get another son later, but yeah, whatever. What I can do is I can go to form a new country and reform into a monarchy, and that is because, let me just show you, I'm at 100 progress towards aristocracy, which of course greatly improves the power of the nobility, so that will be a problem for, you know, the monarchy later. But first of all, let's become a monarchy and get the Carolingian dynasty on a proper throne again. There we go. Removing noble elite, of course. I'm no longer a republic, but you can see already I'm still the free city of Aachen, so it doesn't change on that front. And of course now I can do the proper government reform setup, which as I said, I wanted to get aristocracy, which if I'm correct, or autocracy, this one of course, which I can't get because I need to research that first. So let me just go to the research tree of Age of Traditions. You can see normally you would have that already researched if you start as a monarchy, but yeah, like that it's not researched right now. So let me just find the current research. So let's just cancel that and do the autocracy next, and then Also this one, this law. And yeah, then the other reform, what I want to take is this one over here, Royal Decree, which I'm not entirely sure why I can select that, because I'm pretty sure you can't select that always. But yeah, whatever, I can just enact the Royal Decree, and that gives me already an additional 10% crown power, satisfaction decay doesn't matter, and progress towards centralization, which is perfect. So there we go. And then I think I should be able to still get autocracy, right? Yeah, it still says I could get the autocracy here, so perfect. And now if I go to the free city of Aachen, yes, even after a month tick, you can see we are still a free city. Now you can see that there is a proper heir, or heiress rather. In this case, Angela Caroling is actually my heir now. So the Carolingian dynasty is now safe and secure in the seats of power, at least for the free city of Aachen. Of course, now we have to expand the possibilities of the city of Aachen itself as the true Carolingian capital. And then after that, we will of course expand the reach of the dynasty itself, ideally on all of Europe. On the 11th of February 1524, a Carolingian prince of the HRE finally sits on the throne of Charlemagne himself again. Yes, we've been elected the Holy Roman Emperor. And yeah, that is of course a major success right now. And of course one of the things that I wanted to achieve to restore the Carolingian dynasty. Yeah, you can see the imperial crown and some other works of arts are coming to my capital, to my court basically. And I am the HRE emperor now. So yeah, let's just have a look at what this means. So first of all, of course you saw probably what I did with my union in the meantime. So you can see right now the union consists of 4 members, which is, yeah, of course, myself, and then 3 electors, which is the Palatinate, Brandenburg, and Saxony, basically. And yeah, the other one which I had was Brunswick, of course, and I integrated them because I wanted to get more than 1 million population, as this gives you an additional plus. Let's see where it is. plus 50 reasons to be elected HRE Emperor if you have above 1 million population. And then you can also see why I became the emperor, even though Bohemia was it before. And you can see they are voting for Bohemia again, even all 3 of my subjects right now. And plus Cologne that I got as an ally, basically. Now, the reason for that is the same that I'm not getting re-elected right now, which is that there is a negative 200 modifier to not being re-elected. And that is because of the imperial election laws, which is over here, imperial voting, where the current law is rotating emperorship. That actually means that you can't vote for yourself. And also there is a negative 200 reasons for re-electing the current emperor, right? Now, this is actually a problem, you know, because my guy is 57 years old. So if I'm lucky, he's ruling for another 10, 13 years, but not much longer, okay? Good thing is, though, that as now I'm the HRE Emperor, my great power score is greatly going to increase. So you can see that after the month tick. Right now I'm at 450, and you can see that brings me up to the number 9 great power in the world. And on top of that, I just got a random PUCB on Hungary. Now, normally, I wouldn't be able to do that because they are rank 31 in great power list. So I wouldn't be the senior partner in that union for long. But now that I'm the HRE Emperor, I actually have the power to keep them loyal if I'm powerful enough to win this war. Because you can see, without the levies don't matter at all. But yeah, they have basically, you know, like 2,000 or something, a little bit. They lost, of course, a little bit via this war. Around 2,000 regulars as well. And I have actually 6,000. The problem is they are also allied to Milan and Poland, who actually you can see has 6,000 regulars on its own. All of that doesn't matter, because if I lose the emperorship again when he dies in like 10 years, then I will also lose my seniorship, because then I will lose my great power score, right? So the first thing, the only thing that I'm going to focus on right now is to somehow actually change this law. I can call the Imperial Diet, which is at least something. So let's just do that and call it... Where do we call it? Let's say somewhere close to my capital over here. I can't change any laws over here. So yeah, I guess I just take some money. As you can see, all members would transfer 5% yearly income and more monthly income. So I guess that could help me a little bit. Okay, the parliament agreed, and that means I have now 6,000 ducats in my treasury, still making a good amount of money per month. And yeah, I also started to upgrade my army. You're going to see that in a second once these two are finished. So now you can see that, yeah, with the formation, let's just see, there should be one more infantry regiment in the center. So you can see that now I'm actually filling the entire, or almost basically, the entire combat whip on every single flank. Yeah, I can actually just recruit 2 more cavalry units. It doesn't really matter at all. I've got the money and the manpower, as you can see. So let's just do that real quick. So that brings me up to a standing army of 8,000 men. The entire flanks are only consisting of cavalry units, so pretty strong damage dealers. And in the center we have a little bit of artillery actually for sieging. And then all of these infantry regiments of, yeah, actually Landsknechte, which is a special unit type for German culture nations. I'm pretty sure that with this 8k stack over here, I can actually win a war for the throne of Hungary, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. I can enact another parliament in, you know, a few, like 4 years or something, which means that I'm going to just do parliaments and hope that at some point there will be a parliamentary action to change laws, which is possible. So yeah, that's my plan. First of all, a huge war of PUing the Kingdom of Hungary. And yeah, this is going to be tough, man. I am not scared about these levies that they have. I'm scared about especially these 6,000 regulars of Poland. Okay, so first battle against the Polish regulars, actually not levies, went pretty well. You can see on very good terrain for me, woods. Yeah, I actually destroyed them, as you can see, but yeah, mostly because I have so much cavalry also fighting. Yeah, I mean, if it works like that, then it's fine, but problem is also, yeah, to reinforce all of my troops. I have 16,000 manpower, so yeah, I hope I can keep it up, man. There we go. There is the Hungarian army, but mostly levies. I think that should be an actual easy battle. Oh man, this war is over. Let's just have a look at the statistics. I've actually, on my side, actually a lot of that comes of course from Brandenburg and Saxony. But yeah, my side lost 25,000 troops, whereas they've lost 76,000. And yeah, with the 55% war score, they will accept to join my union and even give me 1,500 ducats, so that's perfect. Yeah, this is it, man. The personal union over Hungary, which is now part of the Carolingian dynasty, ruled by the Holy Roman Emperor. Yeah, and I didn't even look at the antagonism. Maybe I should have. Yeah, you can see this is a kind of a problem, but keep in mind that we are still, let me just see that, guaranteed by France. So this is actually not a big problem at all. I could now go for the next personal union on the claim of Burgundy. But yeah, I'm not going to do that, right? Because of the antagonism I have already. I need to, of course, go to the union where I'm still the senior partner, of course. And yeah, I need to go call the parliament and yeah, let Hungary basically join the same integration level as the others are. Let's just go there and yeah, I need to bribe someone. So let's just bribe... I don't know, the nobility, why not? And yeah, bribe the estate for 1,300 ducats, which is quite alright. Let's just do that. Now they are backing the parliament, and in 1 year they will have the same integration level. So they will have, you know, limited diplomacy and all that. And also the next imperial diet is possible. And let's just pray that this gives me the opportunity to change the re-election law. Yeah, let's just do it in the same place again, I guess. Or maybe in Paderborn, because this is like my allies' land. Yeah, we have military support only. No law change. I'm really not sure if it's even possible to get the law change via that. Okay, the Union Parliament agrees, which, yeah, every member of Union adopts the succession law of the senior partner. And then, yeah, government reforms and policies and so on. That means, I don't know why it's not showing up over here anymore, but if we go to the Aachener Union over here, you can see that Hungary is now also on the same integration level of 7. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to integrate Saxony over here, which, yeah, I would be losing them anyways, and that frees up an elector slot, and we'll see what I can do with that. Let's see, apparently, I can't make myself an elector, and I think I'm just going to leave the elector slot open. Okay, so it happened as it has to happen because my ruler died. Now I've got a 42-year-old Wilhelm Caroling, who is actually called king because of, you know, Hungary over here. Now, if I go to the Union over here, let me just find it. It's really, honestly, a little annoying that it's not shown over here anymore. Yeah, you can see the Union is still intact, right? I've got Brandenburg, the Rhineland, so the Palatinate, and Hungary in the Union. Now, of course, I'm going to lose a lot of great power, right? So it's not entirely about the great power rank itself, it's more about the great power points. So what that means is that right now you can see junior partners can use takeover seniority country interaction when they have 125% more great power score compared to the senior partner. I currently have a great power score of 204. And Hungary has a great power score of 277. Of course, they would be able to do that. I never had this situation before, so I'm not entirely sure how it works. But I think I'm going to risk it, because even if he gets the senior partner, I can of course get that back when I become emperor again. And that is very likely that I'm able to get the emperorship again, because first of all, Bohemia is voted to become emperor now, which actually means that he can't vote for himself now. So the next emperorship is like not contested between Bohemia. What I can also do is, of course, I left the electorship open, so now I can request the electorship status from Bohemia. And therefore, I should now... Yeah, you can see I'm the electorate of Aachen now. You can already see that these nations like Brandenburg, the Palatinate, and Cologne, they are voting for me if you consider the negative 200 malus that doesn't show up over here for Bohemia, okay? So if he dies right now, I'm of course voting for myself, then I would become emperor again, okay? So let's just see what happens with the Union if Hungary actually wants to overtake that. So first of all, I'm still the senior partner of this entire union. Somehow Hungary never really claimed that title for themselves, even though they probably could with just one diplomatic click. But it doesn't really matter if they did that. I would just play as a junior partner, you know, until I became emperor again. And about that, actually, I don't know how they did it, but they did exactly the thing that I wanted to do when I was emperor myself, which is they started the imperial diet, as you can see, 15 days until it's over. And they got the debate, the imperial law debate, and therefore they could change a law of the empire. And they chose to change, first of all, they had like one more, I think, which was they changed to abolish the free cities. But now in this one, they actually wanted to, or they want to change the re-election law. And yeah, this is exactly what I tried to do. And you can see everyone, literally everyone, votes for the free electorate now, which means that, yeah, all these reasons to elect and cannot vote for yourself and so on will be gone. Now they are all, literally all voting for Bohemia, okay? And you can see the difference is now 185 difference because the negative 200 modifier went away. And they still have a much more powerful dynasty. You can see plus 200, whereas my dynasty only gets a plus 72 over here. And then, of course, their great power score matters a lot because they are the current emperor and they are actually number 3 great power right now. But I've got actually one ace up my sleeve for exactly this moment. Because if I become emperor now, then I will get that great power rank, right? So I will be chosen, and I will probably also get more dynasty power and so on. So if I get to become emperor one more time, like one time now, then I don't have that problem with the cannot be re-elected anymore, and I can stay as the emperor unless anything really unlucky happens, right? And because of that, I'm going to use a mechanic that I've built up since 1500, so like 50 years almost ago. I created that plan of creating favors with the electorates that like me. So for example, Brandenburg over here, you can see if I hover over curry favors, they currently owe me 61 favors. And the way that I did that with is I sent them gifts, okay? You can see for example right now, a normal gift would cost me 500 ducats over here. And then you can already see with that 500 ducats gift, that would give them 5 more favors, okay? That way you can actually get favors way above the maximum of the favors that you can get by currying, okay? And you can actually get more give more than this 500. So you can give double than that at maximum, and then it gives you 10 favors on them. Now the thing is, you can only do this every 10 years, which means that, you know, it basically takes 50 years if you do that, or like 40 years if you, because you can curry favors up to 10 favors and then start sending them gifts every 10 years, right? So 40 years, or about 40 years, and then you have 50 favors on them, okay? And with those 50 favors, I can go to Imperial Actions now and ask for election support, which means if they accept, they, you know, need to accept for like opinion, diplorep and so on. But if they accept, then they will vote for me in the resolution of the Imperial election, okay? And that is exactly what I'm going to do right now. There we go. And you can already see that you can see there is no more modifier of opinion or something. They are just voting for me. So I basically bribed them into voting for me 100%. Okay. And I did the same thing with the Palatinate over here. I can only do this once every 2 years, which, yeah, it's all right. It's all right because I can just do that you know, in 2 years, and then on 48 I will have 3 votes already with my own vote, of course, and then I can do the same thing on Cologne 2 years after that, so 1550, which is in 4 years, and then I'll have the guaranteed emperorship. And about that, I set up my relations with France. So first of all, France over here is in a crusade right now against Egypt, but whatever. Now you see there is a an heir, the third in line, which is Count Francois, okay? And he has a wife of my dynasty, which is my daughter, my ruler's daughter, okay? And therefore all of his children are like grandsons. For example, Philippe over here, which means that my son, my grandson, Philippe de Valois, is 4th in line for France. So I didn't really understand the system like 100% because, for example, the PUCB on Hungary, I've got that without any royal marriage stuff or something. It was just, you know, like relatives on the throne for no reason, basically, for just marrying themselves off from the AI. But in this case, I'm like 80% sure that this should work because there is a direct relative of my current ruler, a grandson, you know, in line for the French throne. And if I now trigger a like also 4th in line, right? So not even bad, right? That means if I trigger a succession now, and I will do that by, yeah, let's just see, assassinating the king of France himself, that should give me a restoration or a claim throne CB on France. So let's see if that's actually true. Okay, apparently not. I'm not entirely sure how. Now it actually happened, by the way. The Hungarians actually took over the senior partnership of the now Hungarian Union. But yeah, they have only, as you can see, 278 great power score. Keep in mind that if I'm HRE Emperor again, which, as I said, is guaranteed, I'll get an additional 250 just from that, right? So I will be easily able to reclaim that seniority. And yeah, so no problem whatsoever. It was actually expected. And literally 2 seconds later, the Imperial election triggered, man. Holy Roman Emperor Wilhelm II Caroling. Man, this is, yeah, this is crazy. Okay, this means that all of that moves to Aachen again. And now, as I said, I'm number 12 great power. Take over seniority over here from the Hungarians. Now they will hate me for that, but I don't really care. There we go, the Aachener Union back in control. And now I can call the Imperial Diet again. So let's just do it in Paderborn again and see. Yeah, I'm really not sure how Bohemia is able to get these the law changes done, because the only thing that I can do is like the treasury and the manpower thing over here. I really don't get it. Man, finally something lucky happening over here. King Richard over here, the ruler's nephew apparently, yeah, got to the throne of Burgundy. Burgundy is actually quite big over here. You can see number 91 in the great power score. Not bad. And yeah, of course, that makes the Caroling dynasty much bigger over here in the south. Okay, second and last try for this campaign to get a claim throne on France. Now, I tried to remarry them earlier. It doesn't really work out. Also, he will enter a regency, so maybe that helps as well. But yeah, let's just see. Go to covert actions, assassinate character. The king himself, Louis the 11th De Valois, is gone. Now we've got a regency. Let's see if that changes anything. Nope. So I guess I really have to, yeah, get deeper into this entire dynasty spreading thing and claim thrones DB thing to understand that fully for my next run. But for now, I think this is actually the perfect end of this video. I end up as the number 9 great power, playing as the electorate of Aachen, by the way, right now, with, yeah, Holy Roman Emperor Wilhelm II Caroling, quite nice stats, and of course the Carolingian dynasty that you can see right now if I hover over that. On all of these nations, there is a Carolingian dynasty on the throne. Yeah, the dynasty power went up to 40, which is quite alright, and you can see 46 living members out of 88 total. This is the entire dynasty tree. Of course, remember when we started that only this left tree over here with the historical rulers of Charlemagne over here existed, plus one guy, one little Bürgermeister Walter over here that all started this expansion of this huge dynasty now. And with that, I leave you with this dynasty screen. I think I can finally say now that the De Valois are not even on the throne in France, just a mere regent. I think I can safely say that I literally revived the Carolingian dynasty. You can see all of these purple enclaves on the map, all ruled by the Carolingian dynasty. And of course, the Holy Roman Empire ruled by a Carolingian dynasty member again, just to make Charlemagne proud. this is it. I hope you enjoyed this giga video of restoring the Carolingian dynasty. Let me know if you could do it better. I'm pretty sure now after the run I would say I could do it better. But yeah, this is the beauty of starting into a new game, man. Making mistakes, learning how the game works, and on the way restoring a dead dynasty to old glory. And with that, we're going to see, as always, on another Monday.